Hello, welcome to the All-in-One channel. I'm astrologer and coach Kelley Rosano, and this is Taurus 2012 Year Ahead Astrology Forecast. Taurus, Mars, the planet of action and drive and energy, is in your fifth house of romance and children and creativity and creative self-expression. Perhaps there is some things you need to look at about a love relationship or with your children, because Mars is going retrograde January 23rd through April 13th. And when a planet goes retrograde, that means go back over, redo, re-look at, rethink. And in the fifth house of children and creativity and love affairs, you may be looking at your love relationship and, kind of going, okay, are my needs being met here? We want balance in our relationships. We want balance with our children. We want balance with our work. And that means giving equally and receiving equally. So the first part of this year, you're going to be looking at your love affairs, your love relationships, your children, your creative projects, and seeing if they are meeting your needs, if your needs are being met, and if you're receiving and giving equally in these relationships. This is an opportunity for you to cut away anything that is not serving your highest good, anything that's not serving your true values. Taurus, you are ruled by Venus, and you're the natural ruler of the second house of our true values. And so you have to decide if the relationships you're in or the relationship you're participating and involving yourself in is meeting your values. So this will be a good opportunity for you to take a look at your children, the relationship with your children, the relationship with your lover, and your creative self-expression. Now, Neptune is leaving an area of your chart that has been causing a lot of chaos and confusion in the direction of life you need to go in. Neptune has been at the top of your chart in the 10th house since 1998, the last 14 years, affecting your direction in life, your career, your destiny, your profession, your reputation in the world. And wherever Neptune is where we can be fooled, where we can be foggy, where it can be fuzzy. Where am I going with my life? Where's my life going? Where's my career going? Where am I taking my business? Well, the good news is on February 3rd, Neptune leaves that part of your chart and goes into the 11th house. And the 11th house has to do with hopes, wishes, friends, goals, and networking. And so with Neptune moving into this part of your chart, the direction of life that you need to go in, your career, will become clearer for you. It will become more tangible and visible for you. The challenge with Neptune going into the 11th house is you will have to look at your friends, because Neptune represents our highest ideals, the ideal living location for Taurus, the ideal lover for Taurus, the ideal partnership for Taurus, the ideal job for Taurus. However, Neptune doesn't show us how to get to those ideals. That's Saturn's job. And Saturn's in the 6th house of work and service. I'll talk about that in a minute. Neptune in this area of your chart having to do with friends and those you network with, the groups you belong to. You want to make sure that the people you are investing in are good people, because Neptune loves to fool us. Neptune loves to fool us, and we can be fooled with Neptune, because Neptune represents our highest ideals, and Neptune represents illusion, delusion, deception, and confusion, and it's in the house of friends. And so we can attract in people who don't walk their talk. We can attract in people who say one thing and do another. And so we want to be clear with who we are investing our precious time with, because Taurus, you are the salt of the earth. You are solid. You are earthy and practical, and you do what you say you're going to do, and you follow through. And we can count on Taurus. Taurus is something we can believe in and count on. Other people not necessarily have such high standards as a Taurus. So I just want for you to make sure you're not wearing those rose-colored glasses when you get involved with certain groups and friends who are promising you the moon and promising you, that they're going to help you and they're going to support you, and then they don't show up to the event, or they don't show up and do what they say they're going to do. That's kind of the downside of Neptune, wherever Neptune is. For you, it has to do with friends and networking and who you are relying on as far as a friend goes. Now, Jupiter has been in your sign and will be in your sign until June 11th, 2012. Jupiter in your sign is all about expanding you. Jupiter is the god of abundance and wealth and opportunity. Jupiter expands whatever he touches, and he's touching you. He's with you, Taurus, and he's in your first house. Whenever there's a planet in the first house, it means we have 3 planets. So it's like having 3 Jupiters working for you. So really work Jupiter right now, because Jupiter is ready and willing to go for you, and you can count on Jupiter. Jupiter expands whatever he touches. And he's in your first house, expanding you, new beginnings, your outlook on life, your physical body. The only challenge with that is there can be a little weight gain, because Jupiter expands. And so whenever Jupiter is in our first house or our 6th house, we do have the possibility of putting a little weight on. So be aware of that. Now, I would be willing to put up with that, to have Jupiter in my first house. He's not in my first house. He's in your first house, Taurus. And so having Jupiter in your first house for the first half of June till June 11, 2012, Jupiter is a genie in the bottle. Your wish is my command. What is it that you want, Taurus? If you go after it, you can make it happen. And as long as you are letting people prove themselves to you before you invest in them, then you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be great with Neptune in the 11th, because Neptune is going to expand your goals. Neptune's going to expand your position on the planet to encompass friends throughout the planet, throughout the world, and Jupiter's going to help you get there too. Now, Jupiter is then going to go into your 2nd house, following Venus. Venus is going into your 2nd house on April 4th. And Venus in your 2nd house of money, talents, ability, it's your house. Taurus, you rule the 2nd house. So having Venus in the 2nd house, is homecoming time, okay? So your money is going up in 2012. 2012, it's a good year to be a Taurus. It's a good year to have a Taurus ascendant. It's a good year to be Taurus, because your 2nd house is coming alive with the power couple. We've got Venus going in there on April 4th, and she's staying at 4 months. Now, she doesn't usually stay that long because she moves pretty quick. She retrogrades. Like Mars, she retrogrades. Mars retrogrades every 2 years. Venus retrogrades every 18 months. She's retrograding in your 2nd house of money. She wants to bring a lot of money to you. She wants to increase your self-esteem. She wants to increase your self-respect. She wants to increase your self-worth. She wants to increase your talents and ability. Well, if that's not enough, Jupiter joins her in June, and Jupiter is staying in your 2nd house of wealth and earned income and investment ability till June of 2013. This is awesome. This is fantastic. Having Jupiter and Venus in your 2nd house of your inner resources, your outer resources, your earning ability, your talent, your gifts. Your gifts are going up, your talent's going up, your ability to take your talent and invest it and make more money. 2012 is your year for income increase. I don't care what's going on in the world. Jupiter and Venus are in your second house. And then there's an eclipse on May 20th in your second house at 0 degrees Gemini. New beginnings. New beginnings with your sense of self-worth, with your sense of self-respect and appreciation. And the new beginnings, because Venus, the power couple, and Jupiter are conjunct in the second house, new beginnings. And then you have a 0 degree Gemini eclipse, new beginnings. So the universe is saying here, we're giving you new beginnings in your money and your wealth, and it's going to be awesome for you. Now then there's a Sagittarius lunar eclipse in your 8th house on June 4th. The 8th house has to do with your partner's money. The 8th house has to do with other people's money, other people's values. It's the area of life that has to do with taxes and loans and money that is owed to you, money that comes to you through inheritance or insurance. With an eclipse there, you really have to look again at trust issues. Who do I trust, Taurus? Who do you trust? If you trust yourself, you're empowered. If you're trusting those who are not in their integrity, it's going to be shown to you. And you will be made aware at the time of the eclipse, June 4th. You will. Now, Saturn is in your 6th house, and then Saturn goes into your 7th house at the end of the year. At the end of the year, Saturn goes into the 7th house of marriage and partnership. So you could be looking at a serious commitment by the end of 2012, because wherever Saturn is, we get serious. And after Mars is done in your 5th house, and you cut away the superficial relationships, the superficial people in your life that are just taking your time and are not solid like you are, not integrity, you're not going to have time for them. And then with Saturn going into the 7th house, you're going to be looking for a partner that you can merge with, that you can count on, someone that you can live with for the rest of your life, because it's such a solid relationship, it's such a solid partnership. This is interesting. And then there's an eclipse that follows in that 7th house with Saturn. Saturn in the 7th house, and then the eclipse on November 13th in the 7th house is, you know, eclipses are endings and beginnings. And this is a solar eclipse on November 13th in the 7th house. That's a new beginning in marriage and partnership. So I think, you know, you're going to be really moving up in your career this year. You're going to be really moving up in your sense of self-worth and your talent and your ability. You're going to be looking at romance and those relationships in your life that, are they meeting my needs? You know, do they have the same high standards that I do as a Taurus? And you're going to cut away with what does not. And then Saturn going into that 7th house of marriage and partnership, you're going to attract in someone who may have an age difference than you. They may be older than you, or they may be younger than you. Saturn usually brings us a partner that there is an age difference. But that partner will match you. Saturn will bring you someone who you can be with for the rest of your life. And you can count on this person. This person will never cheat on you. This person will never betray you. This person will never use you. This person will have your back. And you can go out and do what you need to do in the world because this person has your back. And this is what's coming your way in 2012. Now, the final eclipse in the Gemini series following the second house eclipse will be on November 28th at 6 degrees Gemini. This is the finishing touch on that second house. And that second house having to do with your talent, your ability, your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-respect, which is going up. Your stock is going up in 2012, Taurus. It's going up. And this is the finishing touch on that first eclipse that took place in May. And it really speaks to you really feeling your oats, really feeling, you know, what you're worth. And you deserve it. You deserve all the goodness coming your way. It's your time to shine. And it's really cool what's happening here, because you start out the year with Jupiter in your first house. Your money house is totally going up in stock. the universe is bringing you a very serious relationship with a soulmate that you can build your future with and the rest of your life with. You can really count on this person. And then Pluto and Uranus, I have to talk about them because they're going at it in 2012. In fact, they're going to be going at it 2012, 2013, 2014, into 2015. And Pluto represents power and transformation, and Uranus represents awakenings, new beginnings. It is the planet of expect the unexpected, and Uranus is in your 12th house. Okay, and Pluto is in the 9th. So they're going to go on June 24th, and then again September 19th. They're going to be in a serious fist fight. And what that means is you may find something out that you didn't know was going on with people, and you are going to have, you know, what's that saying? You can't push a bull, but boy, when that bull's ready to charge, get out of their way, people. You don't want to get in the way of a charging bull. And with Pluto and Uranus squaring like this, you may find some things out about certain individuals that have not been fully truthful with you, and you are not in the mood to put up with any baloney. June 24th and September 19th. These are exact squares on these days, and it's going to be explosive and it's going to be final. You may end the relationship, and remember that it's for your highest good, because you are going to be blessed with a soulmate this year, someone who will love you for the rest of your life, who will be good for you, who will be there for you, and you don't need to settle in any kind of relationship that is not on your standards and are not, you know, bringing as much goodness to the table as you bring, Taurus. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to take a closer look at your astrology in 2012, email me at Kelley at Kelley Rosano. Until next time, keep looking up.